Everyone, I'm Ron Ruth, and welcome to another installment of Ron Ruth Presents here on DJNTV. I recently wrote a blog article for my website at ronruth.com titled Embrace the Business Renaissance the Pandemic Has Sparked. It's about how business owners, especially those in the wedding and event industry, should not just sit around and wait for a new normal to happen. In my opinion, aspirations of returning to a life of so-called normalcy puts businesses in danger of not learning the lessons from the most recent past, causing them, to remain complacent and fully unprepared for the next possible disruption. Instead, progressive, forward-thinking entrepreneurs and business owners should embrace the business renaissance this pandemic has sparked. Renaissance in French means rebirth or starting anew. This business renaissance is an unanticipated but very welcome opportunity for business owners and entrepreneurs just like you to start anew, to reimagine, reinvent, refresh, and re-energize your day-to-day business processes to adapt them to run more safely, efficiently, and effectively. This renaissance is also the perfect time for you to try new things, to experiment, to take risk, to be creative and step outside of your comfort zone to the benefit of your long-term business success and to the benefit of the people you serve. Here's a great example of what I mean. Take a look.
We can forget everything else that's going on and have fun like we used to.
You know, this is what America's all about. We're innovative. And when people shut us in, we figure out another way to do it. So I didn't get this old from not knowing what to do.
We've all had to figure out ways to stay happy, to stay positive, to shift what we're doing in our lives. And so we came up with the idea to bring the music to the people.
Hit it.
I think it's amazing, you guys. In times like this, people need some happiness. They need some hope.
Adam is so good at coming up with the ideas. And he said, hey, I've got this idea. Let's build a DJ sound system out of the back of my truck.
Yeah! Woo!
So we made it happen, and yeah, it kind of started from, seeing these birthday parades happening where people are driving past people's houses, honking, waving, and we thought, how can we take that to the next level?
You guys you're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you.
You stay within your families, be 6 feet apart at least, please. Sanitize, keep yourself clean, keep yourself safe.
Hey, they were giving out hand sanitizer, keeping us clean. It was really funny. Something we've never experienced before, so.
We have seen so many neighborhoods coming together, and where we're all, staying home, this is a way we can still connect with people while following our mandates that are put before us.
Oh, this is great. These kids have been cooped up and now they're trying to get outside and have a little fun. It's a birthday party. Everybody's having a good time.
And I really hope others can understand that they can physical distance and still have a good time in their neighborhood with their loved ones and their, and their neighbors.
It's amazing what 30 minutes of music and 30 minutes of connection at socially approved distances can do for your spirit. This has been a way that we can keep our DJs working. Our DJs and all of our staff rely on our events, and so to not have them is pretty devastating for a lot of people. But this is a great way that we can keep them working, keep them out there.
Everyone's having a really good time.
All right, from here, let's just bump this party.
So that entertainment experience you just enjoyed, it's called Beats for Your Block with the tagline, Let Music Be Contagious. And it comes from Soundwave Events in Boise, Idaho, and the innovative minds of the owners, Adam and Kristin Cole. And it's my pleasure right now to introduce you to one half of that team, or as it says on their website, the one in charge, my special guest, Kristin Cole. Hi, Kristin. How are you?
Hi, I'm so great, Ron. Thank you so much for having me today.
I love that video. My goodness, seeing all those people out having a great time, and in the way you guys have just been so creative in coming up with a way to lift spirits in your community. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. It's been a very powerful experience for us.
Well, and I really want to talk a lot about that, but let's start with some of the basic stuff. Tell me a little bit about you and Adam. How did you get your business started?
Yeah, so my husband, Adam, he has always been really passionate about music. It's always been such a healing force in his life and a way that he can just connect. And he started DJing when he was 14. He would go to, I know, right? He would go to these church dances and no one would play music. So he started bringing his cassette tapes and being the DJ. So that was a long time ago. And so DJing has always been a part of his story, a part of his life, and something that he did for fun. You know, it's a fun side hustle, as we call it. We got married in 2004, and during that time, he was building homes here in the Boise area, and I ended up getting my real estate license.
Oh, wow.
We were this dynamic duo, and he was still DJ on the side, but we thought maybe we could push that side hustle a little bit more. And in 2008 and 9, when the real estate market crashed, similar to what we're going through now, we had decisions to make and how we wanted to shift and how we wanted to build our ideal life. So during that time, we decided to let real estate go and to really pursue our passion, Adam's passion of DJing. And so we went for it through some really great advice from a trusted mentor in our life. She said, Kristin, you need to take this business and run with it. Go. And so during the first couple of years of that recession, I was just working so hard on Soundwave. Adam was still doing a little bit of like remodeling on the side. And then it just took off. And we went full time with our business in 2012.
Oh, wow. So this is a full-time operation for both of you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I noticed from looking at your website, I mean, it has really grown. How many people do you have working for you right now, or working with you, however you choose to?
I know. We have quite a team, a really amazing group of people. There's about 6 of us in the office that work on back-end operations, marketing, client experience, all of those types of things. And then we've got 10 DJs, fully trained, head DJs is what we call them. And we've got 4 people who take care of photo booth, event staff. And then we've got a little handful of other event staff who help set up lighting and dance floors and assist DJs. So, and I guess with that, I should say, so we started with DJing, and then we added lighting like so many DJs do. And then we decided to add some specialty dance floors into our offerings. Dance floors, they're different than what you normally see.
Right.
That was really important to us to have something unique. And then we started offering photo booth as well.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, all of this addition, you said you went full time starting in 2012. So you've grown this much over 8 years.
Right.
That is absolutely, that's incredible. So kind of just as quickly as possible, I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but going back to, you have 10 DJs now and you call them head DJs. When you hire a DJ, can you kind of just briefly run us through what's the thumbnail approach to how do you train a DJ that comes to work for your business?
Yeah. So we have a pretty outlined DJ training program that we've worked to develop. And so we have some things that happen in office. and then a lot of on-the-job training. So something that's unique about our company is that we always have 2 DJs at every event that we DJ. And so our assistant DJs, those are DJs who either are training to become a head DJ, or they're DJs who love to DJ but don't really see themselves being a head DJ, don't want that responsibility. Right. And so they're 6 to 12 months at least on the job is what we have found really gives that on-the-job experience and training that's needed, in addition to the things that we do in a more formal training atmosphere.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of the way when I was still DJing, I always had a DJ that worked with me. That I was more of the master of ceremonies, and they were more of the individual that did all the programming of the music, and they, they weren't as good, or maybe, as you said, didn't see themselves being a head DJ, but they really enjoyed the mixing of music and that sort of thing. So that's pretty incredible. So obviously we're doing this. We're talking at a time where we're right still in the middle of actually we may hopefully, who knows, be coming out of this lockdown and pandemic. Yeah, I mean, there's fingers crossed. We all want to see the other side of this. So my question is, before we got into this situation and before events started canceling and postponing and doing all those things, on average, how many events a year were you guys doing?
I mean, we range about 300, I'll say. Wow. Quite a lot. And we hesitate sharing a number like that because we never want any of our clients to feel like they're not the one, right? Where we do a lot of events, we really pride ourselves in the client experience and having something so personalized that we are still a small company.
Right. So, yeah, and I understand that. That's you always want it when a customer looks at the events. What they're thinking is that you can do 300 events, but mine is always the most important event. Yep. And you need to let them, and you need not only let them feel that way, but actually you need to work with them in that manner, as though their event is the only one that exists. So let's start talking about that video that we just watched a few moments ago, because that's so cool. So obviously, again, that's the COVID experience hit you hard, and as it was for every event professional and wedding professional, it did people again rescheduling or canceling or doing whatever. So you were left probably with empty books for a little bit.
Yep, just like so many of us in the industry, it's hit all of us hard. Yeah. So
where let's talk about this beats on the block. I want to know more about how did this come to be? Where did this idea start, and how did it gain momentum?
Yeah, so this is all Adam. And though Adam is not here in this video with me, he's such an integral part of everything that happens at Soundwave because he's so innovative. And that is a gift that he's been given. And so as COVID started and people are having, life experiences like birthdays and anniversaries and things like that they're trying to figure out how to celebrate. So we started seeing these birthday parades. And I know this has happened around the country where friends and family would all, meet at a school parking lot and then do a little parade, driving past the guest of honor's home and honking and, having balloons out the window, yelling happy birthday. So that's where it started. Adam saw that happening and thought, well, if we could do something in front of someone's house, I could make that happen. And so he had the idea to build a DJ sound system out of the back of his truck. Fortunately, we have a truck with a long bed that allows us to do that. And so he started sketching. He has a giant sketchbook that he carries around a lot to sketch out ideas. And so he said he sketched out 4 different setup options and determined the one that was going to work best for safety and appearance and functionality and everything. So within a week, he was at our shop building that in the back of his truck. So that was on a Saturday. Tuesday, and this was 3 weeks ago this week, we piloted this in 2 subdivisions where we have friends, just to see what the response would be. And it was overwhelming.
That's pretty incredible. I mean, to be able to just sit down and design this and watching in the video, you kind of get to watch everybody put it together and how it all, in my mind originally when you and I spoke prior to today, I envisioned that this would be something that was already built. It was already in place. All you had to do was drive up. But there's actually assembly required, so to speak. It's it's not not turnkey. You actually have to put some stuff together. And and I also like the idea. I noticed in the video of how it's not just sound on one side. It's surround sound, so that you can entertain on both sides of the street. Which that's you have to think ahead and to know to do those things as well. So you did this originally for people that lived in the subdivision, and it worked well. So then you decided, hey, let's do something. Let's expand this a little bit. So tell me a little bit about the process. Let's talk about how did you market it, and then what's the process for booking this particular Beats on the Block?
Yeah, so I love this part of it because I think this really speaks to how our experiences in business prepare us for what's next. And that's what I've experienced the last few weeks. So originally when we decided to do this, I just started posting it on my personal social media. And I've got a really strong tribe of people in Boise, including our whole vendor community who are just close. It's kind of a small city in some regards. And so I posted it there, shared it on our social media. One of our staff members, he put together some designed some social materials for us and helped us kind of brand this experience. And right away, we got some really positive response. So what was interesting is a good friend. So the video that we watched, that was professionally made by a videographer called Lightbender Media. And he's a good friend here in the industry. And when he saw what we were doing, he reached out to me and said, listen, I want to sponsor you. I want a paid sponsorship, but I also want to create a video for you for free. Wow. And this starts this Beats on Your Block experience being something so community focused. And right away, I was just overwhelmed with why are people so good, right? So he did that Saturday. So Tuesday, we piloted. Thursday, we had our first official event. Friday, we had a few events. Saturday, we were booked the whole day. And he came to events on Saturday and filmed. Amazing. From there, it just started taking off because we all need a dance party. That's what we all need. And I did an Instagram story that Saturday about how for weeks we've been stuck at home. We've been trying to navigate homeschooling. We've been trying to understand what our businesses look like. Like everybody else, our business is at a complete standstill. We furloughed most of our employees. It's real what's happening. This is full-time for us. Adam and I, we don't have other full-time jobs, right? We're all in. And so to be out dancing for 30 minutes in the sunshine and seeing other humans, even though we're 6 feet apart, right? Got to keep that distance.
Yeah, you got to have social distancing.
Right. Amazing. It changed my attitude, my outlook, the way I felt for the whole entire weekend. And that is the power of music right there. That's why all of us are in this business, right? Because right. So from a booking standpoint, sorry, I don't want to keep going if you have
keep going. I love this. I love your enthusiasm. I love the innovative. I love the creative thought process, and I love hearing you talk about how you guys put all of this together. So, All right. So so a couple of questions. So what happens if, no, wait a minute. I'm going to get ahead. If I say that, I'm going to get ahead of myself. So let's back up. So let's talk about, if somebody wants to book you, let's talk about that process. Now that you put all this together, how do people go about booking you for these?
And this is what I'm excited to talk about, because those first few days, I'm like booking through Facebook Messenger, I'm booking through Instagram, I'm booking through text, I'm booking through email, and I am literally like, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm literally going to lose my mind. And then right away I understand that like I need to collect information from these people. I need to know where. I need to know, are we celebrating something? Who are we celebrating? Everyone wants to request their favorite songs. Am I going to do all of this through text message? Right? And I'm like, I can see the writing on the wall that like this is going to be a disaster if I manage that way. And so right away, I know that I need an online form that people can fill out. So we use a program called Typeform, and I went in and created a form that I could send a link to people and they could fill out all their details. And then I could transfer that over to notes for the DJs, right? So that was the first thing. Then I'm still managing these bookings like, oh yeah, let me check the calendar. Okay, it looks like on this day I have this time and this time. Oh, that will work for you? Okay, well on this day I have this time and this time. And I'm like, I'm going to be texting people until I'm 80. Like I can't do this. So then I knew I needed some sort of online calendar. And so we implemented Calendly, which is a really well-known scheduling program. And so I built availability for 2 counties in our area and when we're available to do these events. So then I embedded that onto our website. So now if people want to book, they can just go to our website, they can see which county or cities they're in, and they can click on a day and see what times are available. And then right there from the site, they can book. Very simple process. It really streamlined things for us. And this is the part where, as a business owner, I'm excited.
Okay.
Because when I can implement systems to streamline, that allows us to serve people instead of doing back-end work. And that makes me excited.
I think every business owner loves it when things are running more efficiently and effectively at the same time. It just makes life so much easier as a business owner. So are you still doing all of this with one truck? Yeah.
Yep, we just have the one truck. So we have not purchased another truck.
Has Adam gone, come on, honey, let's buy, come on, just one more?
No, I told him, I'm like, this is perfect. The business can buy your truck and you can go buy whatever vehicle you want. This is an opportunity for you.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, he's driving around one of our DJ vans right now instead.
Well, that's because his truck's got stuff in it, so you can't really go anywhere with it. So let's talk about. Would I be asking you to give away secrets if I asked you how many events are you doing now?
No, I'm so happy to share this.
Okay.
There's an aspect of it that I think is really important that I want to share also.
Okay.
And that is, when we first decided to do this, we thought we would do a few block parties. Mm-hmm. And that we would do these just to give back to the community without a set wage or a set rate. That was another innovative idea, because never ever in business have I said, pay me what you want. Like, I would not be in business, right? But that is how we've structured this experience. So we don't have a set rate. We want anyone who needs a block party to be able to have a block party. So we have suggested a donation of $50 to $75 for a 30-minute block party. And some people will donate more. Some people will donate less. But in the end, it all works out. But those donations we're getting, as a company, we have not been taking any profit on that. Our goal is to do this to keep food on the tables of our DJs. I have DJs who rely on their DJ income, who make, $1,000 to $2,000 a month DJing. Mm-hmm. And that's a hit in wedding season for them, for everyone. So our goal has been to push as much of this as we can to our staff, to keep money in their pockets, and of course cover our expenses like fuel and things like that.
That's very noble.
So that has been amazing. It's been amazing. So anyway, now I feel like I veered from your original question.
I don't remember. No, it was how many, without giving away too many secrets.
Oh yeah, right.
How many of these events are you doing?
So I think that we've done, I haven't counted in a couple of days, but 2 days ago we had done 75 in 3 weeks. And I've got about 100 more coming up between now and June 12th. So another strategic thing that we've done is we've only opened our calendar through June 12th because according to state, our reopening guidelines for the state of Idaho, if everything goes as planned, we'll be set to go to have weddings pick up again on June 13th. Whether or not that really happens is kind of beside the point right now, but I want this to be an experience that is really rich during COVID restrictions. And we have yet to determine if this is something we'll continue to offer once things get back to normal. If it's not going to be the same as it was because so many things have shifted already. But we want to be ready and available for our couples when we can start doing those weddings again.
So first off, I love how this is about this is giving back to, there's several things happening here. There's giving back to the community. And then there's also making making sure that your DJs had food to put on the table, which it's just, I love it when we don't think in terms of customers and employees. I love it when we think of each other as people, because that's really what we are. And especially when it comes to customers or to customers, is that a lot of times we forget that this is not a transactional relationship. These are other people with the same wants, needs, fears, apprehensions, all the anxieties that are going through right now. And it's so wonderful to see a company that's saying, "Hey, we're humans and we want to do something for our fellow humans out there," whether they be typically customers or whether they be a member of the community or whether they be a team member. So am I to assume then that you're like you said you had 100 more to go. So you have 10 DJs. Are you kind of spreading giving everybody around it, going out and doing these events? Is that the way it works?
We've opened it up to our DJ. So at the block parties, just like our normal events, we have 2 people at those events. One person that has to be a DJ who's trained on music and the mix of everything. But then the other person is like the hype man, who can be dancing and getting people excited. And so we've opened that up to our full staff. So we need at least 1 DJ, and then the second person could be a photo booth attendant, could be someone from our office, like whatever it might be that wants to get out there and have some fun.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. One of my next question was going to talk about the impact, but I think you've already pretty much talked about how this has impacted the community. And actually, I love, there was one lady in that video that kept talking about how wonderful it was to be able to get out and celebrate and have a good time. So with all good things, let's talk about some of the challenges here. Okay. One would be weather. What happens if I book a date and the weather for some reason is awful? What happens then?
So we did have like a terrible storm last week, and we basically left it up to the client. So we can cover the top of the truck with a tarp and still play. And we're fine to do that. And
they could dance in their garage. The people could still dance in their garage, as far as that goes, if they have a garage.
Yeah, so that is something we have to talk about. So that day we left this up to the clients. is this something you still want to do today?
Right.
And all of them said yes. And so we just made it work. And one lady was so cute. She said, I don't know, dancing with umbrellas? That sounds amazing. And I think that that's what's unique about this is it's such a unique experience that you can make it whatever you want. And there's not, with a wedding, weddings are the majority of what we do
right.
at Soundwave. And we understand this huge emotional investment that happens with weddings. And when things shift, how difficult that can be for the clients. A 30-minute block party, like get out with your umbrellas, more memories, something to laugh about later. Awesome. Like there's just more flexibility with it, which is great. So, I haven't run into a situation yet where we've needed to cancel due to weather, but it is possible. We are in a really, really beautiful time of year in Boise. For anyone who's ever been, Boise's weather is magnificent. It'll be 80 today with 0 humidity. It's sunny. Like it's just a really nice time of year.
You're killing me. For those,
I know.
For people that are watching right now, it is May today is actually, it's May the 9th? I think, yeah, it's May the 8th, May the 8th. Yeah. And in Kansas City where I am, it's like 50 and going to rain forever. It's,
I meant to say, we're not in Boise, Idaho. We're in Boise, Oklahoma. So if you want to move where the weather's there, don't move to Idaho.
Oh my goodness, that is, I just can't. I never knew Idaho had such wonderful weather. I guess.
Parts of it, not all the state, but Boise is really splendid. 4 distinct seasons here.
I'm moving there, so that's all there is to it. So, you're a real estate agent, or you have the license. So come on, let's help each other out here.
Right.
Before I move forward, I want to back up and talk. I want to go back to your videographer a few moments ago that you talked about a few moments ago, who wanted to be a sponsor. I don't really want to talk about the sponsorship part of this. What I want to talk about is the collaboration involved here. This is another element of what you're doing that I think is really, really cool is that you've got, unfortunately we're in a time where you can't collaborate with a caterer a whole lot because, people and food and all of those things. But I love the idea of having people wanting to collaborate to make this special thing happen. Can you talk a little bit more about this? What was your relationship with these people going in and into this doing the beats parties? What was your relationship like then, and why did they feel compelled to want to collaborate with you on this?
So our business has always been about people and connection. It's never been about transactions. It's never been about what can you do for me. It's never been about how many events are we going to do this year. Right. That's never been the focus. Right. We're just about people here. We're about being authentic. We're about helping and serving and loving people. And that was true before COVID. That's how I've built this entire company, is around relationships. So this particular videographer, when he worked in news, he was a videographer for a local news station. Right. And he came to me, I don't even know, I don't even remember how, but we did a collaboration. Oh, let me back up. I was on the founding board of our local organization, like an event organization here in Boise, a little local networking group. And I think he found us that way. And we had done some give back weddings for just difficult situations. Maybe someone has a terminal illness or something like that. And he was involved with one of those weddings for us. And that's when he and I became really good friends. We're working on a cause together. And we just became friends, right? You just work on relationships. You just show up for people. And that's what he and I have done for each other over the years. And I remember he was so scared to quit his job. And I remember sitting down with him and having the conversation like, I get it. I've been there. I've quit my job before. I've put all of my eggs in one basket, and I know how scary that is. And so we talked about how like the net will appear once you jump, right? Jump and the net will appear. And he told me, like 3 weeks ago, he's like, I still remember that in my mind, jump in the net will appear. And now I'm making new jumps and new nets are appearing. And I'm like, yes, same. I get it. And so that is why people show up for each other, is because you're already invested in each other's lives. You've already been there for each other.
And I think that, what I'm always disappointed in, or not always disappointed, but sometimes I get disappointed, is that a lot of times wedding professionals in general, whether they're DJs or photographers, videographers, caterers, wedding planners, the whole nine, they don't realize that for an event, that how much better an event could be with a level of collaboration. I mean, my thinking on it is, and I'm going to go off topic for a few moments. But my thinking on it is, I look at a wedding much like a movie. You would never imagine, though, that a blockbuster Academy Award winning movie could ever be created if the set designer wasn't working with the costume designer, who wasn't working with the lighting director, who wasn't working with these people or this, if they were all working in their individual little thing, it would be a mess. I mean, no way would a movie made with those, I'm just going to do what I want to do, and that's the way it's going to be. No movie would ever get any, it may not even get so far as to be shown on a screen. Who knows? Weddings though, it's amazing to me how few people want to invest the time to collaborate with each other, to actually come up. Can you imagine if you were to sit down and share information with each other? What we know, here's what I know about the couple. What do you know about the couple? Oh, that's pretty cool. Why don't we maybe we could do this, or maybe we could do that. We not to do something that's going to take from their day, but to do something that's going to enhance that day. In Disney terms, it would be creating unexpected magic. But it's so difficult for wedding professionals to, because they want the praise for themselves, not as a whole. And to me, I could see a bride after a collaboration like that saying, no, you don't want just to book Kristin and their company. You want to book Kristin and every other wedding professional they were working with at my event. You want that team. That's the team you want. And so it works to everybody's advantage. Pardon me?
They call it the dream team.
There you go. So anyway, that's my little editorial that I'm going to throw in there. So moving on. Let's move to a different topic. Tell me a little bit about, what do you think about the process? Not the process. What do you think about the future? Where do you see weddings going over the next, pull out your crystal ball and just look ahead. What do you think is going to happen with weddings over the next 12 months? Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I flip back and forth. Some days I think, oh man, this is going to go on for a while. But then something interesting is happening in our company right now. People are still booking weddings every single week.
Great.
This time of year is typically a little bit slower for our bookings, and it has not been. So right now, we are working with 65 clients who are rescheduling or booking or canceling events. That's substantial. The majority of these are rescheduling, though, and they're rescheduling into the fall, and they're rescheduling into 2021. So I feel like, excuse me.
You got what I got. See, that's why I went and got the bottle.
It's contagious.
And over the internet, you can catch the COVID.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the new viral video. COVID is contagious through Zoom.
Oh my goodness. What Zoom Sacco toilet?
No, I take it back. I'm sorry, Zoom. So the majority of our couples, the conversations we're having is that they're still going to have a wedding. A lot of them they're just waiting it out. They're waiting to see what's going to happen. I feel like a number of them, maybe half, will end up eloping and will say they're going to do a party next year. I think that about half of the ones who say they're going to do a party next year will actually do a party next year. I think that sometimes life is just going to continue on for them, but I don't think people are going to stop having weddings. it might look different. And from a DJ perspective, I had an interesting conversation with a bride, and she was concerned that dancing, like, how can we have dancing at a wedding? And then I referred back to our Beats on Your Block video. People are still dancing. It looks different, but it's still happening. People are still having fun and still need that. So I feel like, as I am projecting for our business, I feel like it's going to take us a few years to recover from what has happened. But people are still going to get married, and they're still going to want the experience they've been dreaming of and the experience their siblings and their friends have had in the past.
I love your optimism, and I think and on so many other levels I agree with you. I think that it's going to be, it's going to take some time. You're absolutely right. Nothing is going to happen overnight. I also love the way that you smile as you talk about this, because you can make this as though your customers are causing you a tremendous inconvenience, which I see a lot of people in this industry doing right now, which is I'm sorry, that's a death nail. If you're going to make your customers an inconvenience at this moment, then you're in trouble, because look, the reality is that we all, as humans, we all share, we're all vulnerable. We all suffer anxiety. This hasn't been easy. If you think it's bad on you, how bad is it on your customers? You don't live in your customer's house, so you don't know how bad things may be for them. So if somebody tells you that they want to cancel their event, don't take it personally. This is, I get it. I don't want to give people, who wants to give money back to anybody? I understand that, but at times you have to throw the contract out, and you have to start thinking, as we were talking about earlier, human to human. Let's talk this through. If you can't, in my business now as a keynote speaker doing public events, I'm in the same boat as DJs. I have no events, right. And I'm having, and much like what you're doing, I'm having to learn new ways to communicate and learning how to do virtual presentations, which is a skill set in and of itself. I never knew how hard it could be, because there's just so many elements to it, and if you want to be successful at it. So anyhow, the last thing I want to talk about, pardon me?
Can I share something really quick?
Yes, you may.
So I've been thinking a lot about this word disruption, and how we have all had a major disruption in our lives and our businesses in so many areas. Mm-hmm. And I think it is easy to get weighed down by that and to feel victimized by it. I think it's an amazing opportunity to say, how can this actually be great for me? How can this be great for my life? What can I do differently here? Is this, like at Soundwave, we are talking just very seriously about ways to restructure how we do business, to restructure our overhead expenses. Do we need to scale back in some areas? Do we need to pick up in other areas? What can we take from this for the future? And part of that is because we did survive the recession 10 years ago in real estate. We got eaten alive. And we didn't know, we were young. We were in our 20s. We didn't know what we were doing. And so this can be an opportunity if we choose to take it that way. And I think that's really important. Disruption isn't a bad thing. Disruption forces us to change. And that is good.
Well, as I talked about leading into this video, it forces you in a way, which is good. Sometimes you need that push to refocus, reimagine, recreate, reinvent, do all of the things that you. This is the perfect time. I don't see any bad coming from taking risk at this point and trying something new, different, exciting, and fun. You would never know if Beats. If your Beats program worked, if you didn't go out there and at least try it. And I've had so many conversations. Before we even talked today, I had a conversation with a DJ saying, here's an idea that I'm thinking about doing, and I'm trying to get ideas from other wedding professionals. And my thought on that is, look, I think you should just do it and let your customers tell you what they think about it. Because, I could, what I think about it, and unless I were to actually experience it, I can't give you an honest answer. I talked to another DJ the other day, said, I want you to shoot holes in my ideas. Why? Why would you want me to do that? You have a great idea here. Why do you want me to tear it down?
Right.
The last thing I want to do is discourage anybody at this point from doing something else. So
less talking, more doing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So one last thing I want to talk about is, and we've kind of touched up on it, but a lot of people don't think about this. And you and I spoke about this prior to hitting record, and that has to do with, I just looked to make sure I hit record, because that would have been bad. So we talked a little bit about purpose, and so I love your website, and I'm gonna in this video I'm gonna share some screenshots of your website. I love your website and how you don't talk about your stuff. In other words, you don't talk about the equipment. You do have sections where you talk about lighting and such. And as we spoke, when I look at a section about your lighting as an example, when I looked at that section, it wasn't about the lights. What I saw was how that lighting creates an emotion, because you had like a bride and groom dancing with certain lighting, and I saw the dance floor lighting, and you had this one really cool video, which I will have to talk about off air, or not video, but a photo of looked like string lights going all the way around a framework of some sort, which that looked really, really cool. I'd like to learn more about that. And those of you watching, you can go to the Soundwave website and check it out. But anyhow, where did you? Was this something that came naturally to you to realize that people are going to be more receptive to you? They're going to be inclined to come to you more because you really are talking about happiness, about making people happy. That is your purpose. Can you tell me where that came from and how it's progressed for you?
So I think that an advantage that we have had in our business is that when we really started this business, I was our ideal client. I was our ideal client, being this bride, certain age, certain education level, whatever it might be. And that was me, right? I was that age. I was that bride in a lot of ways. And so I could look at our business and build things around what I knew was going to work for that ideal client. And I think that's possible for anyone who can sit down and create your ideal client profile and really get to know this person. I'm actually redoing this right now. I have a meeting with 2 of our employees next week to recreate our ideal client, because I'm not her anymore, because I'm 10 years older now and I'm a mom and a business owner. I'm in a totally different place in my life. I need to reconnect with this bride in ways that I can serve her better. We have to craft our messages on our website, in our brochures and everything in a way that reaches our ideal client.
Absolutely.
If we're not doing that, then we're bringing clients to our business that we don't actually want to work with. And we don't want to do that. But I also want to use that knowledge and information to create an experience for her that is going to be exactly what she wants, that's going to help her feel seen. And it's just huge. So in some ways, some of this came naturally, but we've had to work at it, and we've had to work at it over the years. We've had an operations manager who's worked for us, who's been our ideal groom, and he just moved to San Diego right when COVID started. Literally, his last day of work was the day that I furloughed most of our team. And so now that he's gone, and now that I'm older, we're like, okay, we've got to get back in touch with her, because she's changed from who she was 10 years ago when we started.
And she's going to change even more coming out of this.
Absolutely. Yep. So getting in touch with that. When we create messages for our website, part of our culture at Soundwave is just to be fun and to be a little, just not so serious. We just want to add little fun things into our text and just to make people smile. And so we are really intentional about that, but we don't overthink it. We try to write more conversationally, like we're actually talking to someone. And from a female DJ company owner to every male DJ company owner, I promise you, your bride does not care what kind of mixer you have. She just doesn't.
Thank you.
She doesn't. She does not care. If she hires you, it's because she trusts you as a professional. And with that comes the expectation you're going to have professional equipment. But she wants to know what your services are going to do for her emotionally to help her connect with her guests, to create this experience that she's been dreaming about for years and years.
What she's interested in is the end result.
Absolutely.
That's really what this boils down to. At the end of the night, is she going to get the praise for having thrown the best party ever known to man? Or is she going to get the praise because, or do you think she's going to get the praise because she hired the DJ with the best, as you say, with the best mixer?
Right.
And what you're talking and what you're talking about, again, it goes back to purpose and about feelings, emotions, and why we do the things we do. And I see that throughout your website. And Simon Sinek is one of my idols. He's a thought leader that says, he has a TED talk that's called Start With Why, and he talks about how people don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it. And especially if you just want them to buy what you do, then unfortunately you can make that happen, but you're not going to grow as a business as expeditiously as you may want to grow. And you're going to always be working with customers who are only interested in the stuff. They're not going to respect you as an individual. They're only caring about the I guess the basics of what it is that you do. So, Kristin, this has been an awesome conversation. I have thoroughly enjoyed every minute of talking to you, and I could actually talk to you more on the topic of customer experience. We could do a whole new conversation about that. Maybe we should schedule something for that at another time. So, but if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, or if you want them to be able to get a hold of you, could you maybe what are the best ways for people to contact you?
Yeah. My email address is directly on my staff page on our website, so that's a great way. And you can also reach out to us through Instagram messages. Facebook messages are good too. I'm not a big fan of Facebook right now because they're not giving me notifications on my messages. But yeah, feel free to email me. I'm really happy to reach out. One thing that I want to mention is that I am scheduled to speak at Midwest DJs Live in August.
Awesome.
And one of the things I'm going to be speaking about is overcoming burnout. At least that's what my topic was. It might shift now that life is so different. But one thing I want to say, I guess in closing, if it's okay, is that running a business is hard. It's hard for all of us. 2.5 years ago, I almost walked away. And that's a story that I'm going to share when I speak. But people are my why. And the people and the connections are why I'm still here and why I overcame so many hurdles this few years ago. Because it's all about people. If we're just here to make money, we're not going to last. But if we're here for connection and for making people's lives better, our lives, our staff's lives, our clients' lives, that is going to keep us going. And that is full circle back to why we're doing these block parties.
That's awesome. That's a great way to end this conversation. And with that, Kristin, thank you again for your time. And for those of you that have been watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you walk away with something. If you want to get a hold of me, or if you have additional questions, you can always reach me at ron@ronruth.com. And so until next time we meet, you all stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you another time.
Bye.